With under a month to go until signing day, West Virginia adds a big time commitment late in the process here. Let's talk about it on this recruiting update here on the Country Roads webcast. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back in here to the Country Roads webcast. Going to provide another recruiting update for you today. West Virginia here late in the process, a month to go until signing day, under a month really. West Virginia picks up a verbal commitment from a guy that was previously committed to a Big Ten school. West Virginia steals him away, gets him to commit to the Mountaineers, and it's a big addition, both in terms of his quality and in terms of his size as a defensive lineman coming into this class. And as we'll see here on the screen, this was his announcement on social media. There you see on X, and if you want to follow him there, you can. Mountaineer Nation, you see his handle there up on the screen. But there was his announcement, and then of course I want to take a look at his recruiting profile here, courtesy of 247 Sports, and then we will take a look at some brief highlights of new West Virginia commit Wilnerson Telemaque, I believe is how you pronounce the last name. We'll just call him Wilnerson here, so we're not butchering it for the videos process, but nonetheless, here are his rankings. Like I said, a great pickup for West Virginia. Previously committed to a Big Ten school from the state of Florida. West Virginia goes down south and gets a commitment out of Miami. And this is the size I talked about, guys. 6'6", 257 pounds, a great addition to this class for WVU. You come down here, you look at the ratings, high-rated 3-star recruit, both in the regular rankings and the composite, 85 there. So, talking high 80s, getting close to being, borderline 4-star territory there when you get up near that class. Top 100 player in the state of Florida, which we know has a ton of talent inside of that state, and a top 100 defensive lineman in the country as well, according to the 247 Sports composite. So a good pickup for West Virginia here to add to this class, especially late into this point. Recruited by Bilal Marshall and Andrew Jackson, according to 247 Sports here, and previously committed to Wisconsin there, as you see on the screen there. A nice offer list for the West Virginia commit. But now let's take a look at some standout plays from his highlight video. All right, this is from his senior season highlights over on his huddle. You can check this out. I'll put a link to it in the video description if you want to check out the full thing. We'll just look at about the top first 3 plays here, because I think they showcase, different things of his game. And if you want to learn more about it, go check out more of his highlights. But I think this is a good pickup for West Virginia in this 2025 class. As you see them there lined up at the D tackle spot, right there, right off the center. And here he is. He shows great closing speed, great effort to get across the field here and make this play on the quarterback there, who had scrambled out to the other side of the field. And here we see him again lined up over top of the center, this time at the tackle position there on defense. And watch him here this time against the run. They try and run a quick run, and look how quick he's into the backfield, beats his man and makes the tackle right there for the TFL. And then here he is again on the goal line, doing something similar here, breaking up what looked like was going to be an attempt at maybe a quarterback sneak, but he really, with great athleticism, leaped the center, maybe caused a fumble there. But this is the last one I wanted to look at. One that I was really excited about is this blocked punt. This really shows the athleticism, shows the ability and the strength, because he pushes the defensive lineman essentially all the way back. They were trying to do a little bit of a pooch punt, and he pushed the defensive lineman back into the play, blocks the punt. So there is a look at some highlights of Wilnerson Telemaque, the newest WVU commit here for this 2025 class, which leads us to now take a look at that recruiting class here. Let's take a look at our CRW recruiting tracker as we get close to National Signing Day and the completion of this 2025 WVU football recruiting class. All right, and for those of you that have been following the CRW, you've probably become familiar with this as we've continued to track recruiting here on the channel, and we'll continue to do so. I'm leading all the way up to December 4th when it is National Signing Day, and I will track the letters of intent as they come in for West Virginia. Did that last year, really enjoyed it. So do that as a live stream here on the channel, and we'll talk a little bit about these as they come in. Hopefully all of these guys come in, maybe a few surprises. That's always the case there. So we'll do that early morning on signing day coming up on December 4th. Just something to look forward to as far as recruiting updates are concerned. I don't know how many more we'll get between now and then, but on our last update, of course, we were removing a commit, one that I had been excited about in Montaven Quesenberry on the offensive side, but West Virginia now fills that spot in the class and adds Wilnerson Telemaque here. You can see now down added at the bottom, as you saw all the other names there in the class. West Virginia did a great job in this class. As I said, Neil Brown has done throughout his time at WVU, doing a good job recruiting WVU, but also recruiting the borderline states. As you see here in a lot of the commitments, the Pennsylvanias, the Marylands, the Ohios, all through West Virginia's class here. But then you also sprinkle in going in south a little bit. You get a few in Tennessee, a couple in Georgia, and then you got Telemaque here being, I believe, the 5th West Virginia commit from Florida in this class, if I'm not mistaken there. My count's not off. But I like this big addition for West Virginia. You see the defensive lineman West Virginia kind of going for with the last 2 additions there. Brandon Caesar and Telemaque, both similar in size. Caesar 6'4", 255. Telemaque 6'6", 257. And then, of course, you've got the big addition of Leonard-Jean Charles earlier in the class, who's going to be more of a nose tackle, defensive tackle spot guy there with the 6'4", 304 frame. But like a lot of these defensive line pickups West Virginia has gotten in this class, they've done a good job building this class. Needed players in the secondary. They've done a good job picking that up as well. So just talking a little bit briefly there about the class as it's now shaping up as we get closer to signing day, and West Virginia adds a late commit here in Wilnerson that we talk about here in this video. But there's a look at some of the other names in this class that we can hope to expect to have letters of intent when we talk about National Signing Day coming up on December 4th. But that is it for this recruiting update for WVU on Wilnerson Telemaque, defensive lineman commit that's big for WVU to steal away from the Big Ten out of the state of Florida and get to come to Morgantown for this 2025 class. And I think will be a player in the future that makes havoc in opponents' backfields there from the WVU defensive line. But there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. The latest recruiting update from us here at the Country Roads webcast as West Virginia secures a late commit here in the month of November as we close in on National Signing Day now, less than a month away. Appreciate you guys tuning into this one. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button before you head out. That little like helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Throw your thoughts in the comments on either this commit or West Virginia's class as it's shaping up as a whole. Always appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the CRW community. And another way you can help us do that is just by hitting the subscribe button. Fast, easy, and free, and you get a ton of Mountaineer football content right into your feed for no charge at all. But if you want that little bit extra, you can become a channel member here at the CRW. Just hit the join button down below, found above the video description beside the subscribe button, and you'll get extra content as far as game rewatches, film reviews, player grades videos, depth chart projections, snap counts, all of those good things there if you become a channel member, plus a little bit extra members only live streams, things like that. You also get badges beside your name and extra emojis to use in chat and things like that. So ton of fun stuff there, and you'll get some of the podcast episodes early throughout the off season. So a ton of ways to support us here, and we'll continue to bring you guys the WVU football content in return. But appreciate your support any way you choose to provide it to us here at the CRW, and we'll keep the content coming, including these recruiting updates as West Virginia builds this 2025 class. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.